Hello viewers and learners of the Postgraduate Diploma in Environmental Management and Law. Welcome to this session. Today we will discuss on the development of green campuses in the higher educational institutes. This forms a part of the course MEV 003, that is Environmental Law and Management. Along with me we have Professor R. Baskar from the School of Sciences, IGNOU, and we will together today share some of the goals and the objectives regarding this green campuses in the higher educational institutes. Now, if you have heard about the sustainable educational campuses, so these incorporate sustainability in its infrastructure, that could be with the green buildings, and it also adopts certain eco-friendly choices, that is healthier environments and for healthier and conscious living and the environmental awareness programs. So there are several of these campuses worldwide. For example, we have a campus in Bali, that is a green school campus, and here in Indonesia they have constructed the buildings with bamboo, and the buildings are with bamboo and it is powered by the hydropower as well as the solar power. Again, we have the University of Berkeley in the US and in the Canada, Emory also in US. So these universities are working towards carbon neutrality, and again here also they have adopted several eco-friendly practices and made their campuses flourishing with the local diversity and with the native species that are planted and so on. Another campus in France, this also has an active beehive in its campus. So all these, if you see, they are adopting the be with nature kind of the policy, where the students are able to inhale fresh air, they are having a good air quality and good environmental quality for the campuses and for the ecosystem health and also for their own health. So now let us go on with the topic, that is a green campus. A green campus is an educational ecosystem, and this focuses on sustainability and the environment. Now this incorporates sustainability into its infrastructure, into the daily activities and also in the academic environment. When I mean academic environment, that could be introducing this curriculum in the courses, in the programs that the students are studying in the university. Now, it is also consistent with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, and that focuses on the climate action, the clean energy, and also responsible consumption. Now, what are the criteria that has been adopted for the green campuses? So, there are several of them. Let us discuss them one by one. So, using the natural resources efficiently and to conserve them, that is very important, to lower the carbon footprints. So the natural resources may be your forest products, that is planting more trees and promoting the afforestation and not deforestation. Again, we need to conserve the energy resources. We need to conserve certain other water resources and so on. Adopting a circular economy. Now this is adopting the 5R policy, where first of all we should refuse to accept things. For example, if it is a cup which is made of something like plastic or thermocol based material and so on. So we need to refuse such items. We need to reduce the use of certain unwarranted or unwanted things which we think that could harm the environment, that could pose toxic to the environment. Then we can also reuse and repurpose certain things. For example, paper in any office, this could be recycled. And also some of the biodegradable waste, that could also be made all right, or that could be bioremediated using certain composting techniques. Then we can also repurpose and upscale certain things. That is also called as the upscaling project, which Sweden, of course, were the pioneers in this, and they have started these products. And also we can also recycle certain things. Then we can also adopt certain eco-friendly innovative technologies. For example, that could be the sensor-based taps or the LED lighting that we use, so that when we leave a room, even the sensor-based lights, they can go off automatically. So thereby the energy is being conserved even if you forget to turn off the lights. So these things can easily be adopted in the higher education campuses and the educational institutes. Again, we can maximize the resource utilization. So everything, we should not go on for the use and throw policies, but if we have, for example, the water which is used for the drinking purposes in any conference or any seminar or even in the daily meetings, so this water can easily be kept in the bottles, in steel bottles or in the glass bottles, rather than keeping the plastic bottles, which could be the use and throw or the one-time use things. The same way, we can adopt certain other strategies in order to lower the carbon emissions. For example, the fossil fuel consumption and the driving certain eco-friendly vehicles to the offices. Then we need to protect our natural resources, and we also need to reduce waste. So waste, we see that waste is there everywhere, even in the campus. So responsible and conscious behavior is expected from all the staff, from the students, from the teachers themselves, so that we are able to dispose the waste efficiently in the bins that have been properly coded. For example, non-biodegradable waste or biodegradable waste, or that where the glass has to be put as a waste, and so on. So reducing waste and also disposing of waste consciously, that is also an important green campus practice. Then we need to encourage the reuse and recycling, and we need to comply with and enforce certain environmental laws and the policies. Again, we need to showcase certain green initiative models and the places where the green campuses have been functioning efficiently, and also certain other models which can also act as an encouragement, as a boost for these institutes to perform better on the scale and along in line with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Now, what is the role of the University Grants Commission and the National Education Policy 2020 and the Green Campus? So the University Grants Commission, they have created a detailed plan in order to help the Indian universities, the Indian higher educational institutes to create green and sustainable campuses. So they have already made a blueprint which makes it easier for us to follow. Then the NEP 2020, the National Education Policy of 2020, this recommends promoting environmental education and research in the HEIs. So this is very important, where we are promoting the environmental education at the curriculum level, and this is forming a part as a core course, as an important course, and it is a compulsory course for all the students, whether they are taking BTech environmental engineering, or they are taking the arts or the humanities or environmental sciences or geology or any subject for that instance. So for them, the environmental science or the environmental education forms a very important part, so that they have a conscientious behavior towards the environment. Their attitude changes. The way they interact with their living biosphere, that changes, and that makes them more good individuals, that makes them make healthier choices. The way they choose their products, even in the shops, for example, those that are organic based, or those that do not contain chemical in them. So all these small choices that they take in their everyday life, that can also be improved by doing so. Therefore, environmental education forms a pillar, and it is very important that every school, every college and university adopts these to train the future of tomorrow, the younger minds, the bright minds who are going to lead the nations and the universities tomorrow. Now we have another thing which is called as the SATAT framework, and this was also introduced in the year 2020, and this framework is also referred to as Sustainable and Transformative Actions for a Transformed Campus, and this gains support again from the National Education Policy 2020 in the environmental education focus. So what are the key components of this SATAT framework? This also proposes incorporating sustainability and the environmental sustainability into the university's current vision and the mission statement. In this manner, they will both be practitioners and they will be advocates of environmental sustainability. So this is very important, and the SATAT framework is in line with the NEP. And there are some focus areas and key recommendations of this SATAT, which also we need to know. So the campus planning. So here we need to preserve the natural topography. We need to plant certain native species. We need to integrate the sustainability into the master plans. Green buildings. So in green buildings, so this means they should follow certain certifications of the LEED, and which Professor Baskar will be explaining more in detail. And they use energy efficient designs. For example, any building that you design, that should definitely have ventilation. So there should be a 60 to 40% wall to window ratio, where there should be sufficient ventilation. There should be lighting for the sunlight, for the natural light in order to enter these buildings. So that makes it a sustainable infrastructure. Again, by using materials, for example, I told you that in Indonesia they use bamboo. So they need to use the materials which have green roofing, which do not make the buildings as an urban heat island. So they should not make your offices be more hot. For example, if it is glass, that can get in more heat into the offices, and then you need to use more air conditioners, so more cooling. Again, you are wasting more on the energy and the natural resources. So these things have to be kept in mind when you make the infrastructure in the HEIs. Then we have the energy use. Here again we need to install certain solar panels, adopt the LED lighting, and monitor the consumption of these usage. So this is also another important energy usage which is important. Then the water management. Here the rainwater harvesting is important. So in water scarce conditions and where we do not get water, so it is important that whenever the rains are there, the water harvesting technologies are now being adopted even in individual houses, in the villas, in even the flats or the apartments. So that can easily be procured. The rainwater can be collected efficiently, they can be harvested, they could be filtered, and then they could have a sump where it could then go into the tanks, and then it can be used as a normal water for all the activities. Grey water recycling, where the water that has been used, for example, from the university canteens, from the hostels or certain other places. So this also can be recycled and used for the landscape gardening, for the gardens themselves, also for the toilet flushes and so on. So there are a lot of utilities. It just requires a little bit of mind where we have to apply, and a group of people, a team which has to come together where they can put more light into these issues, more discussions, and then we see that the outcome is much more better and beneficial for the institutes themselves. So water auditing is also important, so that we know the amount of water that is consumed, the water that is produced, and we can have a good water balance in the systems. Then waste management, where segregation, first of all, we should not release the waste, but then of course if we are releasing the waste, then this also has to be segregated. We have to do the composting properly, maybe the vermicomposting. E-waste handling is important, so in every office we can have a bin where we can dispose of the e-waste scientifically. Then the plastic free zones are also important. So I think now people are getting more conscious. They are bringing the stainless steel and the steel water bottles to their offices. They have the steel glasses, steel cups. So now we are not using these one-time plastic cups for the coffee, for the tea, and even inside these cups and the disposable cups that you get for the coffee and tea, there is a lining that is inside. There is a plastic lining inside, which is very toxic, which is very harmful for the human health. So people need to be informed of these. That is why informed decisions and choices have to be made by people at the ground level. That is why environmental education, this has to be introduced in the curriculum at the core level. Transport, right? More and more walking is important. So we need to walk in the campus. We need to use eco-friendly bicycles. So the Guru Nanak Dev University in Amritsar, if you have ever visited this university, all the faculty, all the staff, they park their vehicle at the entrance of the university, and from there they walk to their campuses. If there are elderly people, or if there are people with certain ailments or health ailments, then there are these e-vehicles or the eco-friendly vehicles which are non-polluting in nature. Then they can get into these vehicles and they can go comfortably, have a ride. So these are certain sustainable practices that have also been adopted by the Indian institutes, and also the Center for Science and Environment. These buildings in Rajasthan, they have also adopted very good, even in Delhi also, they have also adopted very good infrastructure and the sustainable infrastructure for a sustainable future and for an environmentally protective and happy future. Biodiversity is important, which we discussed, and events and procurement. So there are several events going on in the university, right? We have several events being organized, and here again, we need to see that whatever we procure, if it is a poster, if it is water, or if it is a tent, we need to procure this also environment friendly. So this is also event management is important. And then there is a role of UGC in incorporating this into the curriculum. So they have the guidelines for the undergraduate programs. They have the 4-credit course with 9 thematic units that include climate change, biodiversity, pollution, environmental legislation, with emphasis on the fieldwork, case studies, and also community engagement. The implementation, institutional implementation, would be establishing campus sustainability office, develop a sustainable campus policy, conduct green audits and publish their findings, and celebrating the different days, the World Environment Day, the Water Day, and similar events. You have several events that are going out throughout the year, so these events can also be conducted. So now Professor Baskar giving us an idea about what is a green campus and what are the criteria for the green campuses and the role of the UGC and the NEP 2020 in incorporating the environmental curricula in promoting these green campuses. What are your views on this subject? And if you can just explain
Dr.
it to our
Sushmitha,
viewers.
you have rightly explained the complete spectrum. In fact, universities are the places where sustainable development goals have to be actively pursued, and it is expected by 2047 our campuses will be carbon neutral. And there are 3 ways one can do it. One is universities teach subjects, so they can do the course curriculum changes. Second, they also have campus operations, sustainability operations, they can do it. And they have institutional policies. So these are the 3 areas where they can work. And as you rightly mentioned, our higher education regulator, the University Grants Commission, has given 46 ways in which any higher education institution can implement these policies. And they are all mostly free, cost effective, and low cost, and it can be implemented with ease. There are a number of universities which you have mentioned, and in India, abroad, where they are following. It is also a part of, India being successful, being a treaty to the Sustainable Development Goals. It is also adding value to NIRF ranking, to NAC gradings, and also projecting a responsible image. So if you see, there is a great role the campuses have. Now let us talk the first activity which the campuses do is curriculum integration in academics. There are 4 areas in which they can do the changes in courses and programs. Second, what are the research problems they are doing? Third, what kind of experiential learning is available for the students? And fourth, what is the faculty development opportunities which are there in this area? Now, UGC has given 46 method. If you see the first one, they have said that courses that integrate climate science and sustainability programs. Whatever subject you do, it doesn't matter. You can always integrate environmental issues because environmental issues are related to society, they are related to living, they are related to economy, and they can be integrated well. And you can integrate, and the HEI should have workshops where different programs can, seamlessly integrate in their curriculum. If it is not possible, at least what Dr. Sushmitha Baskar mentioned, that the 4-credit course, which is compulsory, that can be given as an awareness program or action across all disciplines. Then specialized workshops can be conducted, training programs. For example, plastic pollution has become a serious issue, and there is going to be a global treaty. It is still not yet finalized, but it is in the final stage. And microplastics are a serious issue. It has entered our blood. It has entered even the placenta, and we don't know what more damage it is going to cause. So there are so many issues where people should be be sensitized. Then we should also have certificate programs in sustainability, and IGNOU is doing a lot of such environmental programs, appreciation programs, short-term programs on waste management, etc. So many things that any student can update, and there are many courses in the SWAYAM portal where they can update themselves. The second aspect which can be done is regarding the research initiatives. Now, what are the research initiatives? It is possible that the HEIs can support creation of research centers focusing on environmental studies. Even if whatever be the subject, the interface with the environment can be taken up. Let us say, for example, somebody is doing a tribal studies. They may be having rich environmental knowledge, and those kind of interface could be done. Similarly, the student projects which we assign to them, we should take care that they cater to local environmental issues, so that the work what they come out in project is live, it is based on experience, and they can share their knowledge with the local community. Then these also create living laboratories for the students. For example, biodiversity may be rich. For example, IGNOU itself has a lot of rich biodiversity. Our university calendar, if you see, has a rich biodiversity calendar, and you can see different species. So taking a tour around this along with the students will really enrich their minds and make them more eco-sensitive. Then we should focus on climate resilience and sustainability. Today, whenever the world leaders meet, one of the important issues which is discussed is climate change. And it is not a single science, it is multidisciplinary. And there are new terms, new concepts coming like climate justice, climate refugees, and different disciplines can integrate and contribute to this. And what we are seeing, that the effects of climate change, they are going to cause, they are already causing a lot of human and property effects, damage, and it's very important that our students are sensitized towards these actions. Then for experiential learning, so that they have live labs, we should have exchange programs, student-faculty exchange program focusing on sustainability and conservation. For example, even in nearby institutes where they do good practices, they can be sent and they can learn. The institutes can establish green clubs, and student-led environmental initiatives can be done. There can be appointment of sustainability ambassadors, both faculty as well as students, to promote green practices so that they feel pride in doing that activity. There should be volunteering opportunities for communities and for the students so that they can come and contribute. Scholarships, awards and programs should be given, and there should be campus-wide sustainability challenges and competitions which can be held. For faculty development, what can be done? Training. Training so that they can integrate the knowledge of environment in their discipline. They can seamlessly integrate and sustainability into their courses. They can be involved in community outreach, and they are also involved in campus-wide initiatives. Now, there are two other ways in which HEIs can do in addition to curriculum, the main teaching work I said. One is campus sustainability operations and institutional policies. Institutional policies should be geared up so that they take care of all sustainable practices. And the second one is the campus sustainable operations. Now, if you see institutional policies, you will see they follow the 6 R's which Dr. Sushmitha mentioned, that the 6 R's are very important: reduce, reuse, recycle, repurpose, repair and regenerate. And the university can establish teams and committees to see that there is compliance, and all the material which is being purchase, procurement is done, should be done so that they are green in nature, in the sense there is minimum carbon footprint and minimum wastage, and there is a possibility of reusing them, and those products have ecological or eco label or value in using them. And we should also set and publicly commit to carbon neutrality targets. once you set something publicly in your website, on your website, then you will work towards, because you can be asked that you have said. So it is very important that HEI should clearly demonstrate that in next 10 years we are going to achieve these operations. We have to implement carbon offset programs. All these things can be done by HEIs in their faculty in the policies. Now, institutional policies, if you see, there should be campus-wide sustainability dashboard. What is the point of having a campus-wide sustainability dashboard? Because here there is live tracking of the sustainability practices, whatever is being done, and there is regular green audits being done, both internal committees as well as by external agencies. Then there is carbon footprint measuring and reduction efforts. They should publish in the website annual sustainability reports. You should use apps to track energy usage and waste production. And that way we will be conscious. You know, even water footprint, they have the mechanism to calculate energy footprint, so waste consumption, so waste generation. So all these apps are available, and students are now technology friendly, and these are all mobile apps. They are also web-based apps, and they can use it. And we can apply green metrics to inform institutional policy decisions. Suppose we take some policy decision which has some implications, then these can be displayed in the campus-wide sustainability board. Then we can incorporate carbon sequestration project, green orientation program for all the faculty and students who join the university. Just like you have induction program, you can have an orientation program, so that they are thinking of the seriousness of the environmental issues and how important environmental issues are. And there is developed sustainability literature assessment for everyone. In simple way, you can create pamphlets or even e-pamphlets and circulate them. So these are some of the ways in which institutional policies can be done. The next one is the sustainable campus operations. As Dr. Sushmitha mentioned, we should not only be practitioners, we should also be advocates and practitioners. So it is very important solar energy can be generated. If Cochin Airport can have 100% of the electricity generated by solar panels, why can't institutions have? There are many institutions which are generating these kind of electricity. Wind energy, it's if you're located in an area where you can exploit or implement energy saving measures, as you say, as Dr. Sushmitha mentioned, you can have sensor based lights, you can have the LED lights, energy efficient appliances, the BEE 5-star rated appliances, so that you can use less of energy. Even the cooling of the ACs, you can set at a fixed temperature 24 or 25, so that you don't waste the energy. Again, water becomes an important component in sustainable campus operations. You should harvest the rainwater where possible, and there should be conservation habits. Sometimes taps leak, they should not occur. And there should be low flow fixtures, and there can be sensor based taps, and grey waters can again be used for these kind of activities. Now the last one is waste management. We have to enhance recycling programs, digital paper, documents over paper, avoid single-use plastic, and campus-wide composting. There are also green infrastructure and sustainable transportation, construct and renovate buildings to LEED standards. You can do some part of retrofitting, implement carpooling and shuttle services. You can use native plant which consumes less water. You can create walking trails for faculty and students, encourage bicycle paths. You can promote car-free days and have bicycle day. You can do plantation drives, all this. Now there is a strategic action which has to be taken by HEI leaders, and they have the power within them to influence strategic planning, resource allocation, stakeholder engagement, and do the cultural transformation of the campus. So these are the important ones. The HEI leaders have to integrate sustainability key performance indicators into institutional dashboards and committee mandates. They have to take care of funding, awards, acknowledgement for environmental friendly research and operations. They should share sustainability reports to attract eco-conscious students. They should form global alliances to promote sustainability. They should incorporate sustainability into the core values. They should fund green infrastructure project. They should improve the campus resources. They should partner with industry, government, and community. They should encourage green startups and showcase sustainability rankings and on public platforms. HEIs can do a lot. So I hope Sushmitha, Dr. Sushmitha, that some of the things I was able to cover up.
Thank you, Professor Baskar, for giving our students an overview of the green campuses and what could be done in these green campuses. So as Sir said, the campuses are living laboratories and it's full of life, and it's good that if we could make all the campuses sustainable, and all the people over there in these higher educational institutes, they can adopt very good practices, and many of them, he said, focusing on infrastructure, focusing on the water or the resource management at every way, and also conducting several workshops and the faculty-based programs where we can improve ourselves. And thank you for your patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you.